A warm namaste and a big hello to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video, which is a review of the ongoing documentaries on Prime and Netflix about the Twinflame universe. I would not be taking any names, but I would be sharing my opinion because these two documentaries are extremely interesting and I'm one of the people who's very happy that they came out finally, like someone spoke about it. And being a twin flame coach or an ascension coach, it's even more important for me to address it because my inspiration to come on YouTube were actually these twin flame coaches or the couples who were twin flame coaches. In 2011, I had written a book called In the Name of Love, which talked about the concept of ultimate soulmate, which is also another name that I coined or I gave to twin flames for copyright purposes and also to be a bit original. When I wrote this book, I had this clarity thanks to my masters that love is something which is very pure emotion, and our spiritual ascension journey can take us to understanding of unconditional love, which can also happen via failed romantic connections or via even successful romantic connection. Back then, I faced a bit of difficulty explaining the subject to a lot of people. I felt personally also it was a challenge for me to overcome in my spiritual ascension work because most people were so into attaining romance, which I feel is an illusion. It's not really true love, and they always thought or they always confused lust to be love. There was this desperation that I saw in a lot of people. So for some time, I kept that aside and I started working on other writing projects. During those days, I wrote the screenplay of a supernatural comedy in Bollywood called Gang of Ghosts. I worked on other writing projects and I did some television shows. So I was pretty much happy in that sphere that yes, I was going somewhere with writing over there. But I was again very much drawn to my inner work and ascension work, which had captivated my soul, and I simply wanted to give as much time as I could so that I could also understand the nitty-gritties of coaching and counseling people in such a huge, yet such a mundane, yet such an important subject of unconditional love. After a few years, I realized and I saw on internet there were a lot of couples who were claiming to be in twin flame union and they were coaching people about unconditional love or the subject of ultimate soulmate. So you could say that I have also watched the videos of a lot of these twin flame teachers, gurus who are presenting themselves as couples in union, and I was extremely shocked because this topic, this subject actually comes from India. It's called the Ardhanarishwar energy. So if you translate or if you give an English name to this word Ardhanarishwar, then it comes up to twin flame. But twin flame is incomplete. It's actually twin flame ascension journey because a lot of people are born with twin flame energy, which means dual energy or polarized energy, the masculine and feminine energy. When you start doing the ascension work, this energy comes into union and unity, and then you experience non-duality. So some of these teachers or some of these gurus were actually picking up stuff from other ascended masters or spiritual teachers, but they were misusing it and misrepresenting it and misquoting it and also making people do the opposite of what they should do. They were telling them to go against it, like they were asking people to do stalking. If you watch most of the videos, even if the other person is not ready to be with them, the other person has already married someone, the other person has already left them, blocked them, not talking to them. So at that point in time, I was pretty shocked with the information that people were sharing. In a way, I would like to thank all those people also because these people, these couples were actually the inspiration behind my YouTube channel. I really wanted to tell people that you don't have to be sitting with another person of opposite sex who is your romantic partner in order to be in twin flame union, because the union is an inner thing. The union is happening inside of you. It's happening within you. It is a real feeling. It's a level of peace that a person experiences when they work on their flaws. But I also faced a lot of difficulty. So I have my sympathy for all the people who got affected negatively and had to suffer so much because of these teachers, the false teachers. But let me tell you personally, even as a coach or as a counselor, I have suffered a lot too, because a lot of people who came to me for personal sessions or readings, I won't say all of them were like that, some of them were very wise, but a lot of them got upset and they got a bit offended when I asked them not to chase or pursue their supposed twin flame partner. I have also told people that you can have multiple twin flame in your life. You can have someone who can be a false twin flame, you can have someone who can be a catalyst, you can even have walk-in. It all depends on the stage or the level of ascension work you're doing, because the twin flame energy is actually inside of an individual. So you yourself are your twin flame, and other people simply mirror that energy back to you. So maybe when you're not clear about the concepts of love, you are still thinking the false concepts of love to be true love, you are going to attract a false twin flame. A lot of people get upset with that. If I told people, do not stalk the person you are talking about, do not even think about them mentally, they got upset with me. So when people actually go through these readings also, I mean, on my channel, you will see that I don't have that many views or that many subscribers. But when I look at other people's readings or sessions about twin flames, I see like thousands and thousands of people who are, like watching them, and just they are so happy to go through all of those readings and sessions. I try to tell people many times that you are simply getting some false hopes. You need to work on yourself to be able to attract true love in your life, and true love doesn't have to be romantic always. So as I said, my heart goes out to all the people who have suffered because of this, but at the same time, there are also people who just don't want to listen to you when you talk to them about real love. You want to talk to them about unconditional love, they don't want to listen to you. But you want to talk to them about romance, they are okay with you. There were people whose crushes or situationship partners got married to someone else in front of their own eyes, and they contacted me. They wanted to work with me so that they could bring that person back, and they were okay to have a relationship, a candlestein relationship or a secret relationship with that person. To many people, I told them it's not the right thing to do. When someone is married, just because you have the twin flame label or just because you feel someone is your twin flame, it's not right to be in relationship with a person who's already with someone else. In my own life also, I was given these opportunities and options many times, but it's very obvious, and if you're in your healed energies, you know that it's a wrong thing to do. Not just wrong to someone else, but it's also wrong to yourself. But unfortunately, a lot of people use the twin flame label to justify extramarital relationships or immoral connections or sexual partnerships. I'm not very surprised to see these cult leaders, whosoever they are, talk a lot about twin flame sex. Whereas if you watch my channel, if you watch my content, I have talked a lot about asexuality and brahmacharya, which means that actually twin flame ascension journey makes you asexual and makes you a person who wants to organically and naturally practice brahmacharya. However, sadly, there are people who are only concerned about sex. If you read the Puranas and if you read about cardinal twin flames and if you read about the epics, you will find out that most of those couples practice brahmacharya. They were rishis, munis, and if you go to the stories that come from Satyug, you will read that they were also practicing genetic engineering and genetic motoring to produce their offsprings, which means they were very advanced than what we are seeing in the current reality. So I wanted to share with people the beautiful treasures that the land of India brings forth in the twin flame world, but I saw that many people were simply not interested because they felt that I want the twin flame sex, I want the person to be crazy for me, I want my person to be obsessing for me. People can obsess for you, that's not a big deal. But from a spiritual ascension point of view, do you really want it or not? That becomes an option that you would actually like to say no to, because the energy of obsession is not a healthy energy. But it happens, especially when you're doing ascension work. A lot of times your past relationships, the exes, they come back to you. And you can check out some of the channelings where I have mentioned this also. Yes, the exes do come back, but are you going to accept them just because they were your exes? Are you going to leave everything behind just because they came back, or you're going to investigate further about what made them come back to you? You can also get into a harmonious friendship or a connection with someone you have dated in the past, and now you don't have the anger or the frustration or whatever led to the breakup. So when some people pick up the concepts, the real spiritual concepts, like surrender is an actual thing, harmonious union is an actual thing, twin flame union is also an actual thing, where your inner divine masculine and feminine comes into a synergy and all of your 72,000 nadis start working. So how many people actually want to work on the real twin flame union? That is the question people need to ask themselves, because it's wonderful, it's great that these type of documentaries are being shown on such platforms, because a couple of years back I was extremely disappointed. I was really sad. I did write to one of those couples also, because out of the two, one person seemed to be really wise and mature. So I did write to them, and I had intuitively predicted that you guys won't be continuing to be a couple, even though they had gotten married and all of that. And since quite some time, that couple is not together. They have separated, and only one of them is doing the healing work or the teaching work. So my intuition was not wrong, because I could sense, I could see very strongly that this is not a genuinely happy couple in love. They are coming together because the label of twin flame union is also very popular on the internet. If you tell people, especially who want counseling from you, especially who need help from you, who need to work with you, who need a spiritualist to help them out, they would be more than happy to see that person, the spiritualist, sitting with another person of the opposite sex who is in a romantic union or a connection, maybe a marriage or an engagement or just a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. They are more happy to see that person that way. They do not like people who are single or who claim to be single and in union. They don't believe those people. They don't say, oh yeah, I think you're in union, but you know what, you're not sitting with someone next to you. So luckily, I have also met a bunch of people who did not buy the false twin flame concept. They were wise enough to not buy into the fake twin flame propaganda, and they were willing to work one-on-one with me, and I'm really blessed. I'm really happy to God that such people exist. Now, it's very important to understand that all of these false twin flame teachers, these cults, don't talk about mission work. And when they talk about mission work, they say that the mission is to spread the twin flame information. I don't think that should be the only mission, because when you live a life of twin flame, even if you don't give the label of twin flame to yourself, you can simply be someone who's a seeker of truth, a lover of truth, who's devoted to God, who's a bhakt, who is on a spiritual path, who is on solitude, who's learning, experimenting, researching. I think that should be more than enough. But twin flame is actually used for the ease of communication also, because people simply could not explain the intensity that they were going through when they talked about the twin flame subject. Like, they instantly resonate with the word twin flame and they go like, yeah, this is the intensity I feel. So for the ease of communication, you can say that, yeah, I feel that this person is my twin flame because I have that much intensity towards that person. Now, whether that intensity is actually coming from inside of you and you're seeing it in the outside reality like a hologram, because whosoever you talk to, you feel that intensity. I mean, that intensity can actually fade out and it can be felt with another person also. But a lot of people cling on to that one person. They don't let go. They don't move on. They spend a lot of years, if not physically, but then mentally stalking that person through internet like social media. So it takes a lot of courage for people to actually step out from that. And only when you step out from the false twin flame information or the false propaganda, you can actually experience the real deal of this journey that is above the label of twin flames. I mean, this is a part one. I would love to get your questions and your comments under this particular video. I'll try to kind of surgically step into the nitty-gritties, because yes, there are some things that I also noticed. Like, there are lots of concepts which a lot of people are not able to understand. Those are spiritual concepts. The only problem is that some people are misusing those concepts, and a lot of cult leaders have done that. Forget about just twin flame, even otherwise, so many religious or spiritual false cult leaders have misused those concepts. They try to tell people that if you're gonna do this, you're a right person, you're a righteous man or a woman, and they made people commit crimes. They made people suffer because of that. A lot of people became miserable because of that. So is it not true that narcissism exists? Is it not true that runner-chaser dynamic exists? Is it not true that surrender is the key to union? Is it not true that singularity or non-duality exists? It all exists. But what if you have been using it in the wrong way? What if the same information is been used to manipulate you? Or maybe a lot of people themselves are not ready for the information yet. And let me tell you, I'm not blaming anybody, but yes, if people are extremely desperate for the romantic union, for the romantic connection, and they don't use their logic. For example, these people asked some of the people to change their gender. They asked people to get a sex operation done or to go through a gender change. I mean, why did those people not question it? Like, why some of those people, why were they so blind? They were so blind that they're actually willing to change their entire identity because someone is asking them to do so. Now, we need to get their accounts also, because what if those people are happy doing so? I mean, they genuinely feel that this is going to be good for them. Or is it a decision that happened due to manipulation? Personally speaking, as you level up in the ascension journey, your sexual needs die down. You actually start experiencing yourself as a soul and not as a body. And you have a lot of esoteric and profound experiences also, which make you feel that all of this intercourse and all of this need for the physical presence of other people is not really such a big requirement. You love your own company. You start enjoying solitude. You're not scared of being by yourself. In fact, you have so much to do. Like, one day is sometimes not enough for you, and you have so much to look forward to in your spiritual ascension journey also. And a true spiritual ascension journey, whether you give the label of twin flames or star seeds or light workers, you will realize that challenges never go away. Challenges are a part of this journey, okay? Challenges are a part of any journey. But we are more resilient, we are more in faith, and we can get out of the challenging situation or the mood or the emotion that we are into faster if our ascension work is proper. Like, it's okay to feel bad when someone rejects you in love. We are going to feel bad. We are going to be sad for some time. It's okay to feel bad when someone says, oh, I don't want to be with you, I want to be with someone else. Even if you put in all of your effort and love into that relationship, it's all right. It's very human and very natural. But how long are you going to stay into it? How long are you going to blame yourself? How long are you going to take to move on from that situation? All of that depends on the level of inner work that you've been into. So, yes, this is where I would like to close this particular video. I will talk again about this, and I would love to see some of your comments on this. But I would definitely say that some of you must be happy just like I was happy. I totally feel that, because a lot of people did tell me, did write to me. There's a spider here, as always. So a lot of people have actually told me that they also got a bit annoyed with these type of videos, with these type of readings, which were so baseless and had got nothing to do with the ascension work. Not that true love doesn't exist, not that a man and woman cannot love each other, not that a man and woman doesn't support each other. Our parents have done it. It's a reality of the society, and maybe as a generation, all of us are suffering so much that we are actually looking for true love. We all want true love. We just don't know how to get there. I mean, there are right tools, there are right techniques also, but there could be a lot of false people who are misguiding innocent minds or pure hearted people to follow the wrong path. But as a logical person and as a person who feels that we must take responsibility for our own actions and for our own inner work, ascension, and growth in life, we must also apply logic along with emotion. So if something doesn't feel right, if something doesn't feel correct, we should not do it. As simple as that. If anybody doesn't respect you, then your respect, your self-respect has to be of priority in your own eyes. If we are not gonna give ourselves priority, the love, care, and the attention we deserve, the acknowledgement, the validation that we deserve, how can other people give it to us? So yes, let's just remember that Source, God, is our friend, our guide, our family. God is someone you can rely on 100%, and the faith in our life has to increase on a daily basis so that whatever we do, we love it, we enjoy it, and we live our lives with acknowledgement and acceptance. Then obviously no one can misguide you and maneuver you to fall into wrong relationships and bad company, which is called kusangati in Hindi. God save us from kusangati. So many people do not like if you tell them that vegetarian food is good for you, or you should stay away from lustful relationships, or you should not drink alcohol, or you should not talk like this, or you should not live like this, you should have a good routine, you should wake up in the morning, you should sleep on time. If you tell them all of this information, they don't like it, they get upset with you, they quarrel with you, they think that you're giving them wrong information. Then what is the person supposed to feel if others don't take the correct information? Obviously they'll give it to someone who accepts it, acknowledges it, and applies it in their lives, right? So yes, this is a good thing that has happened. It's an eye-opening thing. It should awaken a lot of people. But as much as I understand this journey and this world, I have seen people being fans of Jeffrey Dahmer. I've seen documentaries where people were writing letters to serial killers. I mean, some of them actually follow them. It's all about you being a vibrational match to somebody or something as a concept. As long as you vibrationally connect with it, you're going to connect with it. As long as you don't, you're not going to connect with it. It's as simple as that. So yes, I will see you in another one. One love, peace out, and victory to Ram.